What is up, car addicts? In this video, we're talking about this week's All Money Event Week as well as the property and vehicle discounts. This event week is for December 4th through December 9th, 2024. So, only a 5-day event week as the Agents of Sabotage DLC is releasing on the 10th. Also, Heist Month is officially over, although Rockstar hasn't confirmed that the community was able to beat the $20 trillion Heist Community Challenge. On the tracking page, the community hit $15 trillion on the 3rd of December, so I doubt it. Either way, no one really wanted the 2013 police boat, so I don't think it's that big of a deal anyways. So, the current prize ride for this week is the Overflot Autark. It's primarily based on the SCG-003, and it normally costs us under $2 million. To get it for free this week, you have to get first place in an LS Carmade Series race for 3 days in a row. In regards to performance, in the supercar class, it is a top 15 performing car line including HSW depending on the track. It has some decent customization, it is nice to drive being very grippy. Continuing to the test ride vehicles, we have the Peyote Gasser, the Fagaloa, and the Taigon. And all three of these are on website vehicles, so definitely make sure to pick them up this week if you don't already own them. And for current gen console users, we have the Issy Rally as HSW test ride vehicle for this week. Continuing to the casino podium vehicle, we have the Class A Tahoma Coupe. It's primarily based on the 3rd gen Chevy Monte Carlo, and has a normal price of $1.5 million. Now this car was the reward, for those of you who remember, for the 2022 Community Heist Challenge, so I think this is Rockstar definitely trolling us pretty hard here. Anyways, in regards to performance, in the muscle car class, it is a mid-tier performing car in that class, which is to be expected for a car like this. However, it does have some decent customization. In terms of the dealership cars for this week, in luxury autos we have the Envisage and the Impaler SZ. Continuing to Simians, we have the Stafford with the O Enos Limited Time livery, the Tyrus, the Dynasty, the Thrust, and the Coquette Blackfin. And all these are website vehicles, so definitely make sure to pick them up this week if you don't already own them. Moving on to the discounts. For property discounts, we have 40% off the Bayo offices as well as the upgrades/renovations for them. Continuing to vehicle discounts, starting off at the test ride, we have 30% off the Peyote Gasser, again a website car. This one's in the muscle car class and is a below average performing car in that class. Now, even though it has a crazy drag car look, it's sadly pretty slow, which is a shame, and the customization is pretty average as well, but at least it looks pretty cool. Next up at the test ride, we have 30% off the Taigon, again a website car. This one's of a supercar class and is a top 15 performing car in that class line including HSW. It's a fantastic looking car with great customization. It's nice to drive, has some great detail. I honestly think it's a pretty decent deal at this price. Moving along to the Simians, we have 30% off the Stafford, again our website car, and it's featured here with the limited time O Enos livery. This was in the sedans class and is one of the slowest cars in that class, which is sort of to be expected for a car like this, but obviously the reason you buy this car is for the classy luxury car styling, and I think it's well worth it at that price considering if that's what you're buying it for. Next up in Simians, we have 30% off the Tyrus, again our website car. This was of a supercar class and is a mid-tier performing car in that class. It has great handling, however its acceleration and top speed really isn't all that great. Plus it only has a few customization options. A great looking and sounding car, but sadly it doesn't really perform all that great. And lastly in Simians, we have 30% off the Dynasty. So this one's of a sports classics class and is one of the slowest cars in that class. It's more of a meme car with the Indian taxi reference, which is pretty cool. It has some great customization as well. Moving along to the Legendary Motorsport website, we have 30% off the Paragon S. So this one's of a sports class and is a top 5 performing car in that class, not factoring in HSW. Personally, I like the look of the Paragon R a lot more, but there's no denying that this thing is super quick and has a Monty Tech as well, making it a pretty useful all-around vehicle. Next up, we have 30% off the Envisage. So this one's in a sports class and is a top 10 performing car in that class, not factoring in HSW. It has great customization, handling, and a Monty Tech, but it's an electric car, which I know some players don't really like too much in GTA Online. Moving on to the Siren San Andreas website, we have 30% off the Castigator. So this one's in the SUVs class and is the fastest non-HSW SUV in that class for track performance due to its great handling and speed. Personally, I'm not too much of a fan of the styling. I feel like they should have used the Trackhawk for this sort of Jeep performance SUV, but there's no denying that its performance is very good. Next up, we have 30% off the Dominator FX. So So this one is a top 3 performing car in that class, not factoring in HSW. It's very quick with some great customization and handling, although its top speed does fall a bit short in comparison to some of the other top muscle cars, but still a great overall car. And lastly, onto the Warstock website, we have 30% off the Dominator FX Interceptor, one of my favorite cop cars in GTA because of the real life history behind the Fox body CHP cars. However, in general, I think these cop cars are just way overpriced and there's really no reason to own more than one. Moving along to the gun family, the follow weapons available this week and 30% off the grenade launcher as well. For triple money, we have triple money NRP on select community series jobs. For double money, we have double money NRP on the bail office standard bounty targets, plus the safe income from staff as well. For the weekly challenge, if you secure 3 bounty targets this week, you'll get 100k. Continuing to the weekly vehicle robberies from the Sour Hero Business Stick, and these only change once per event week. We have the cargo ship robbery with the Tyrant, the podium robbery with the Mamba, and the Duggan robbery with the Previon, and of course none of these are claimable this week. And lastly, for the time trials, this week's normal time trial is Route 68. I recommend a car with a high top speed or a quick bike for this one. For the premium race, we have the motorcycle race Boots on the Ground. Highly recommend the Power Surge for this race, and if you're on current gen, I highly recommend using the HSW Hakuchu Drag. And lastly, for current gen console users, the HSW time trial is East Vinewood. As always, HSW Hakuchu Drag with the best one for these. In terms of my vehicle discount pick of the week, I'm going to have to go with the Dominator FX. I think it's a pretty decent deal at this price. It's based on the iconic Fox body Mustang, has great customization, and again is very competitive in races when HSW is turned off. There's just a really good car. Anyways guys, overall this event week I would say is pretty average. Double money on the bail office standard targets really isn't all that great. The discounts are decent, but again, bonus money isn't very good. It's lacking a bit this week, but that's to be expected right before DLC, and this event week is only 5 days anyways. So I want to give this week a solid 5 out of 10, and let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. So again, less than 5 days away from the Agents of Sabotage DLC, guys, so if you haven't started saving money, well, you definitely waited for the last minute, but try to get in as many Kyles as you can right before the DLC releases. Again, less than 5 days away. Now, in terms of how much this DLC is going to cost, I'm going to make a little video on that probably tomorrow, but in general, I don't think this DLC is going to be too expensive, and Rockstar really hasn't shown us that much. I think the biggest chunk of the money is going to come from the potential other cop cars that they haven't shown us yet. Obviously, the D10 cop car is going to be very expensive, but we're just going to have to wait and see. As usual, these DLCs aren't cheap, but if you sort of keep yourself away from the cop cars, I don't think it's going to be too crazy expensive. Anyways, again guys, thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.